people took over part of the mall in a peaceful protest, but this year, mall execs have filed a restraining order demanding they stay away.
This was widely publicized, that an unlawful demonstration should occur on Wednesday. And all we're asking is for the same means to be used to say, hey, this is against the law, and we're calling it off.
They're trying to force us to say something that, you know, they don't really have the authority to do so. This is definitely not only an attack on Black Lives Matter, but on everybody's First Amendment rights.
All right, I'm glad to have Joey Jackson here, who is our the criminal defense attorney and legal analyst. So here's what's at issue here, Joey. The mall's restraining order, right? Right. They're asking the Black Lives Matter folks to go on social media and cancel the protest or face possible arrests on the grounds that the mall is private property. That's if the restraining order is granted. That's one, right? Is the Mall of America open to the public, or is it private ground?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk about this. Now, the fact is that a mall is private property. And as a result of being private property, the same First Amendment protections will not apply as if it were something that was governmental or public. Now, a mall, by virtue of the fact that it's an open space, by virtue of the fact that people shop, of course, it's open to the public, but there could be restrictions placed on what people can do within that property. For example, a mall can ban what you wear or not wear, right? If you don't have shoes, you don't get service. You don't have a shirt, you don't get service. You know, so they can do things like that. If you're wearing something offensive, which would normally you'd be protected in public, at a mall, since it's private property, you won't. And so based upon it being a private space, in direct answer to your question, since it's private property, you know, there could be reasonable restrictions.
Okay, so then number two then, does it impinge or infringe, excuse me, on First Amendment rights, the right to expression and freedom of speech, and what someone can post on social media?
Well, posting on social media is going a little far afield. I don't think a mall executive can tell me what I can post, where I can post, how I can post, what I have to remove. That's something separate. But the executives can tell you, and they can place regulations on what demonstrators can do if they can demonstrate there. Now, what people say is largely up to them. We all have a right to speak our mind and to say things that we think are very important to us and express our opinions. However, in terms of where you can express it on the property, I think that's what the restraining order is addressing. And so, again, regardless of what you feel about the Black Lives Movement, whether you're really supportive of it or whether you're against it, the issue in terms of whether they can protest on that property, you know, courts have essentially said that since it's private property, they can, the owners, make restrictions relating to whether people can protest.
Some are saying it's an intimidation move by mall execs to try to control where people can protest and to get, you know, hey, listen, if the judge decides with us, you should go on social media and tell people that this is canceled, or still you're going to...
Listen, if I'm the attorney for Black Lives Matter movement, the argument is that this is oppressing the movement. We have a message, it's valuable. There are issues concerning Black lives and the denigration of them and the disrespect of them. We should be allowed to do whatever we want, where we want, in a peaceful way. If, of course, you're a mall owner, this is about disruption of your property. This is a very significant shopping day. It affects our business interests. And it could potentially affect public safety, so don't come. So there are two narratives, and depending upon which side you support is the narrative that you're going to adopt and espouse.
But can the judge, if there's a restraining order, can the judge say, listen, because you promoted this on social media, then you must go on social media and make every attempt to unpromote it now that I've handed out this order?
I think that's more of a tricky area. I think the judge's issue is to respect whatever the order is. And if the order says